Welcome to Kleshna Jewellery crafting channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a right angle weave button. They are invaluable little pieces of kit basically. There we go, there's a rather beautiful tanzanite one, an aqua one, and as you will have seen in the introduction, the rosewater opal one. Now just for the purpose of demonstration I am going to be using a wonderful colour that Swarovski do called Pacific Opal. They're very easy and they are incredibly useful to know how to make. We do a kit for them as ever, and I would advocate that you use Beadalon's Wildfire to work with because it's very robust and the crystal doesn't cut it very easily. And I use the wonderful John James needles, which I buy in a pebble because it is so divine. The pebble shape is really sensuous, and once I've used up the needles in it I just keep the little case and I put all my other needles into just one case. Very handy little tip for you. Okay, so each bead takes each button basically takes 12 crystals, and you start off quite simply by making 4 buttons. What I want you to do is put 4 crystals onto your needle. 5mm crystals I'm using here. You can use any size. So there we go, there's the 4 crystals, okay? Pull them right the way down towards the end, leaving, I would say, about a 4-inch tail. Use your finger to wind around. Fingers are incredibly useful when beading. I'm sure that everyone will appreciate that. Thank you, Lord, for giving us 5 fingers on each hand. Although I have to say mine are slightly worn out now from beading, but what a wonderful way to lose your fingers. Now, I'm now going to do something that I would not ordinarily advocate that you do, and that is I'm going to tie a knot in my cord. The reason I don't normally advocate doing this is because I like to work with very tiny crystals, and if you tie a knot in anything, and I'm doing a surgeon's knot here, so for a surgeon's knot you go through the hole once and you go through the hole twice. Tension that off, and there we go. The reason, as I was saying, that I don't normally advocate doing this is because you fill up the aperture before you go into it, and then one thing I cannot stipulate enough is to reinforce. Now I am using a smoke wildfire line purely because for the purpose of demonstration and you're being able to see what the heck I'm doing, it's much better to use a dark colour than it is to use a light colour. So I've gone all the way round and then I've gone through an extra bead. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to zap this end off because I now have something to hold on to. And if you don't have one of these little zappers, I have to tell you, they are incredibly invaluable. There we go, so we got rid of that. Let's throw that over my shoulder like Henry VIII used to do with his chicken legs. Right, I'm now going to pick up only 3 beads because we have already got, the way that you learn this is we've already got 1 bead in there, here. So we're going to pick up 3 beads and we are going to create another little diamond, another little one of the right angle weaves that will make and form this little button. And then again I shall reinforce, reinforce, reinforce. Now if ever you are working with crystal, which I do on a daily basis, and you are working a la sort of beading work style, do ensure that if you want to tighten anything, you pull away from the crystal, not against the crystal. If you pull against the crystal, you're more than likely going to cut your cord. So it's a very good idea to pull away from the crystal. I'm going to pick up 3 more of these 5mm beads, thread them onto my needle, and believe it or not, folks, we are almost there. I'm going to whiz around here. This will probably be one of the shorter demonstrations you've seen me doing, because I'm going to explain afterwards rather than actually show you how you make this neck chain for your glasses. There we go. Going around here. I always reinforce, you know, if you're making the daisy chain bracelet, you're doing right angle weave. Even when I've made a full bracelet, you will often find me arduously going back through the whole bracelet. Okay, so you can see there, I'm just going to move these little babies out of the way. Okay, that I've got 3 little triangles that are interlinked with each other. Now comes the alchemy. This is really the clever bit. I'm going to put 1 bead here whilst my thread is coming out the top. I'm going to go through that bead, and then I'm going through the other side crystal there. Here, voila. So there we go. And then I'm going to pick up another bead, which is my 12th bead, and I'm going to go back through here, just like that. And then, so you see you've got 1 bead here and 1 bead here, and then I'm going to pop my finger in there, and I'm going to do something ever so clever. And there I have myself a beautiful little button bead. And what you then need to do is to reinforce all the way around a few times. So what I'm doing is I'm literally sewing through each crystal until I pull it together very tightly. And I'm going to let you into a little secret as to how you know which side that you have done, because I used to just sit there for hours going round and round. I couldn't work out how. So when you've done this face of the crystal, go straight down, flip it over, so that you then know that you're on the opposite side of the crystal. Okay. And then you keep going around in this little sort of 4 pattern, and you will feel as you reinforce the button, it is tightening in your hands. And if it isn't, then you need to look at the side that you have done. Right, now I'm going to turn it over this way. Can you see it's still woggly? Wiggly woggly woo. Gosh, it reminds me of when my son was very young. I think we used to have a song about wiggly woggly woo. Sorry, you'll have to forgive my mutterings, but whilst I'm doing this, it does fill the time amiably. There we go. Right, Harry, and there we go. You can see it's just beginning to start to tighten now, and I'm giving it a darn good tug. Right, now I'm going down through here, and I'm coming up on the next fascia of it. Still wiggly, but you will all of a sudden, as if by magic, you will see it start to firm up and stop wiggling around, and that is when you will know that you've got a very good and rather robust button to use. I have to tell you, I mean, I use these little right angle weave buttons as buttons on my clothes now. I use them, right, hold on, so right, can you see that is no longer wiggling around? There is one more side I have to do, but for the purpose of showing you, there is one rather beautiful right angle weave button, beautifully executed by moi. I hope you like it. Now what I'm going to suggest that you do is that you make 3 more of these if you want to make a spectacle chain cord. Now I'm going to pop this to one side because to quite simply thread these galvanized beautiful beads here. Now where's my little box? I want to ask my wonderful camera woman Kaylee to see if she can go into this box and show you just quite how exquisite these galvanized multicolored beads are. There we go. And this is what I've got in the kit. I've fallen in love with these beads because they go with every single pastel colour you can imagine. Okay, so what you will need also, and we have this in our kit, is you'll need 2 of these spectacle ends. Now, I personally find these are the best ones to have, and the reason being is that this little wrap around it actually will slide down, so it doesn't matter what size your spectacle ends are, they go into it and they will be kept very firmly entrapped in it. and you won't need to put these on until you've finished actually making your cord. So what you will need to do next, now let's clear all these beautiful Pacific opals out of the way, is I personally find it's much easier either to count them out first or count as you go. And let me just show you a little tip of mine for putting seed beads on a needle. Never pick the bead up and come to the needle. Always take the needle to the bead and literally spread them out, and you just fell them on with the end of the needle like that. So much quicker. Do you see what I'm doing? And it's just so much easier to do that. So what you will need to do in order to make this is, hold on, let me take this end. You will need to pick up 12 of these little beads, and then again I would tie a wee knot so that it makes it into a circle. Don't put the ends on until you've finished it. Thread, keep a longer end when you're threading this, okay, and thread both ends up through the 5mm bead, so you're right at the end with the 5mm bead. Then this piece here is 20 beads long. Put on one of your beautiful beads, weave yourself through from corner to corner, weave back through the beads. Then you do another 20, a crystal, 20, a crystal, 20, another one of your exquisite balls. Then I have done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 sets of 20 with a beautiful 5mm crystal in between each one around. Then I've put on another ball. I've done my 3 sets of 20 with a crystal in between each one. I put on another ball, 20, another crystal, and I've gone all the way around again. But then what you need to do, folks, is you go all the way up here and you go all the way back, all the way down, okay? And by doing it that way, you will have a robust cord. Now, do not think, just before I finish on this, that I have been mean and only used 4 balls on this. The reason I've done this is for an extremely good reason, and that is I once made a very lush necklace cord just because I can, and I have thousands of crystals here. And when I went to put it on, because it was so heavy, I looked like Morecambe Wise going like this with my glasses, because it just did that, because it was too heavy. So this spectacle cord has been designed to be perfectly balanced, perfectly beautiful, and I wish you well to wear it.